Craig Vaughn in the studio. It's WRCA Day, which depending on which day you download and listen to this, or you're listening to it here on the radio station, it's that day.
It's that day, late July, hot, muggy.
It is in the studio, and that's not even outside, actually.
He is not
the
kidding.
Air is broken here.
A little hot in here.
I'm not going through menopause, Mom. I'm just saying it's hot.
Casey Hooper and Peyton Fleming in the studio because Lehman faked a shoulder injury or something.
I think it was from him carrying those headstones at Fort Sumner.
Maybe.
And
maybe
he's on the injured
race.
Yeah, he's on the injured reserve list.
That's it. I didn't even think about that. That's totally
I think that's probably a little bit of granite. Something. I don't know. Of course, he could be doing spoon egg races. I don't know how.
Yeah, with his good hand.
With this good one.
2 rodeos this past weekend. One a 1-day, one a 2-day.
Yes, sir.
Which one do you like, Casey? You like the one? You like one or the other?
Well, I like watching the 1-dayers.
I was going to say
because the heat's on.
You probably have different feelings about participating and actually watching.
And then the 2-dayers, as we could like what happened at Meade, you'd see a team come on really strong on Friday night. And then they'll stub their toe on Saturday, and it just takes them out of the running. But when you got a 1-dayer, it is what it is.
Yeah,
it is what it is. So encampment, Wyoming, and it was actually a pretty good little rodeo. You know that country up there brings in teams like Boot Hill 7 Livestock and Hagerman. You've got 4-3 Landing Cattle, an FS Bar, Hippo and Barta Company. Jolly Ranch and SNL, and then you have your Silver Spur ranches, which compete pretty heavily. It's a very large operation. So there were 3 divisions, at encampment: the Kiowa division, the Nebraska division, and the Walden division. All of the Silver Spur ranches. So it was a pretty darn good rodeo.
It's a neat. I just wanted to Google real quick while you were talking about some of that stuff, just to see exactly how far up, because I would guess that's a big part of this one is you get teams that normally don't get to compete in the Southwest kind of region.
Well, sure. So you get a team up there by it'd be Saratoga, Wyoming, and then it's hard for them to leave that country and drive all the way to Alpine, Texas.
Yeah.
When it's hard for us to get to Alpine.
Right. Do you get some up out of Colorado getting into that or anything?
Yes, actually, the winner that we're going to talk to, JOD Ranch and Brown Mill Ranch, went up there and won that rodeo.
Second place came from Colorado.
Oh wow! Yep. Yes, because they're. If you're listening and you have no idea where this one was, it's northwest of Denver and almost on the state line between Colorado and Wyoming, so right.
And it's kind of if anyone's ever been to Wyoming, it is cowboy country, and I think it's those wide open spaces that make it titled that.
And there's a Medicine Bow National Forest right there, and which is actually looks like it's split in 2 on the map, and it's between those 2.
Is it really?
Yeah, between like the one half of the national forest is over here on the east, and the other part's on the west. And
what's crazy is you drive these rodeos. And you don't even realize.
Oh yeah, I would imagine
that you just passed Lincoln's Memorial shoelacing contest.
Exactly.
You don't.
I know. See, that's the thing with we get bands that come in to do those radio tours. I go, wouldn't it be cool to be able to take your time and stop at the world's largest ball of twine or something?
Yeah, I mean it would be rather interesting. Yeah. Problem with me is I would see squirrels and just stop and talk to the guy that is maintenance on the ball of twine. And stay there for 3 days.
Talk to the squirrels.
Well, that too. Oi, oi, oi.
They understand.
They do. It's like turkeys. They understand.
So who came in third then?
Third, Hippo Ranch and Barta Cattle Company.
Famous for raising hippos.
And but actually, when JOD Ranch and Brown Mill, they won with 38 points, and Jolly Lord was kind of right on their pockets with 35 points. Hippo Ranch and Barta were there at 30 points. So they're hungry. And that's, I mean, it seems like those 1-dayers, you're going to hit 2 or 3 points unless someone just comes right out and just smokes it.
Right.
In the first 2 events.
That's like the dream day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's one of those you get back to the trailer, crack a cold one, and you're going, oh, wow, that just happened.
Yeah.
Let's get out of town now.
Now let's leave. Let's get while the getting's good. We're talking to Kenny here in a moment, right?
Yes, Kenny Yoder, JOD, has been a big part of WRCA for many years, and I probably can't count on two hands, maybe one for sure, and maybe half of the other on how many times this team's qualified for the World Championship. So
very cool, very cool.
They're very competitive guys, and what's really cool about each one of those guys is they sometimes will flip a coin in the bronc riding, and they all can get it done.
Right.
So they kind of make me feel good that, it's a young man's sport. It is ranch bronc riding, but they kind of push the envelope and they make it, hold my beer and watch this kind of thing.
And so do you got some individual awards on this one? Did they do the...
Yes, they did. They have a top hand and they did a top horse. The top hand actually went to JOD and Brown Meal, and it went to Cash Chamberlain.
That doesn't happen all the time.
It does not happen.
You would really think it would, but it doesn't. Huh?
Yes, and so kudos out to him. The top horse was owned by Silver Spur Operations, ridden by Buck Marsh, and it's SS One-Eyed Pepto. Now, you're looking at me like I've had too many shots of whiskey this morning with your one eye of One-Eyed Pepto. But actually, AQHA registered name, owned by Silver Spur Operations, and I believe it was out and born in New Mexico, and it probably was out on the Bell Ranch division of Silver Spur. But good horse, good horse. So thanks to AQHA for that top hand award, and it's going to a well-deserving ranch.
Very good, very good. Well, you want to call Kenny now, or you got some more? You got more results you want to go over?
Well, that actually ties up that without getting into the really. I mean, you don't want to give everybody a Debbie Downer.
That's right.
So let's just stick with what we know, right?
We'll get Kenny on the phone then. Here we go.
He's not a good
Hi, we got him. Kenny Yoder on the phone. Hey, congratulations, man, on the win this past weekend.
Well, thank you.
You bet, man. In the studio with you, you had Casey Hooper in here and Peyton Fleming from WRCA. I'm pretty sure I know you at least know Casey. Peyton, you know him
yes.
too? Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
Well, congratulations.
Well, thanks. Appreciate it.
So I'm not sure what's wrong with the air conditioning in this room, or if it's just because I'm talking to the supermodel Kenny Yoder, but it is hot in here.
Yeah, this studio is our air conditioning broke over the weekend sometimes. Good thing to come into on a morning.
Oh, no.
So actually, Kenny, I really am also, we can just make funnies all we want, but kudos for going up to encampment and getting that one day or kind of a rushed up deal, pulling through at the last minute, and bam, coming out with a win and a qualified for the 23rd World Championship Ranch Rodeo. Good job, guys.
Well, thank you.
And
it was fun.
Go ahead.
That's it. He said it was fun.
No, he said it was fun. So not only that, but then Cash comes out with winning top hand.
Yeah.
And it couldn't have gone to a more deserving guy. So it looks like
that's right.
So on my paperwork, I show you guys kind of smashed him there in the milking. You did good in that.
Right.
And then you came back, and let's see, what other event was it? Or just consistent. You were just consistent, weren't you, all the way through?
Yeah, we just had a real consistent rodeo. It was just, we were right in the hunt on all the events, and things just kind of clicked, and just praise God that things went our way. Who
brought the broncs up there?
Donavold had them.
Well,
good broncs, real good, real consistent broncs.
Yeah, and I think it was old Black Betty, which we've heard that name before, wasn't it?
For the bronc?
Yeah.
You mean? No, that's I don't remember the bronc's name actually. Well, but that's actually the horse Cash was riding is Black Betty.
Black Betty. That's a great name. It's better than like Black Widow.
How many teams are up there this time?
There was 10.
10 teams. There you go. And you guys are out of Colorado, right?
Yes, sir.
I would imagine this geographically, we were talking about this a little bit before, this probably made it a little bit easier for you guys to get in on a rodeo.
Yeah, it's still a pretty good trip up there to encampment, but it's an easy drive, I guess. It just takes a while.
Yeah. I think they all probably take a while, don't they? I guess there's none really in your backyard if you get lucky.
Well, when you come from Wild Horse, what is it? Where are you located out of?
Wild Horse, Colorado.
Yeah, and so being it's so wild, they keep those folks very contained and very away from town.
That's right.
So they have
We don't go to town much.
Oh, but when they do, it's a joy.
Yes, yes.
Well, is this the first time you'll get to come to the national finals, or is this like...
No, this will be our 4th trip.
Excellent.
I was saying I could count on one. I thought it was actually 5 or a little more, but I was close.
Yep.
It's still...
You were close.
Yeah, I mean, it's still Old Home Week, you know?
Yeah.
And the thing of it is everyone knows it's a yearly thing, so when they show up, I'm sure the kids are already excited. And Kenny just had a baby. When was
congrats.
that?
We did. And the very end of June, June 28th there, we had a new baby boy.
Well, what is his name?
Coulter John.
Okay, got to know that from job security reasons. How many is that for you, Kenny?
That's 3.
All right.
Yep.
Well, the whole JOD and Brown Meal, I mean, it's job security for us.
Right, yeah.
And then, very, very.
Right.
I'm looking up on the map now, and I take it back. I think Amarillo's closer to Wildhorse than Campman is to
Probably.
to Wildhorse.
Yes, it is. It is.
Yeah.
It is
take
closer.
it back.
So, Kenny,
Yeah.
what's the strategy from here on out? Now that you guys qualified, you guys will probably enter Colorado Springs, or you guys...
Yes. Yeah, we're entered in Colorado Springs, and that'd probably be the only other one that I know of that we're going to.
Good deal.
So, yeah, we'll just try and keep tuned up and keep sharp for Amarillo.
So, basically, when I called him to see what he was getting ready to do today, he was getting ready to build fence. So, I saved him.
Yes.
But on a serious note, how do you prepare for coming in to the World Championship? Like, do you guys, I mean, obviously you work and you can tune up on your skills because you're working, but what is one of your favorite things and how do you prepare for championship?
Well, it works out pretty good for us because we're a ship in the fall. And so normally we've been riding quite a bit, and our horses are working pretty good if we just have been riding them. So we normally have them rode pretty good, and but we'll practice some. We'll pull out some yearlings and put them in the arena and do some roping and some sorting on them, and just try and keep our horses tuned up. And that's the main thing, keeping your horse tuned up. You got to be mounted.
You do
good to place down there. That's all there is to it. There's a lot of tough teams.
A lot of tough teams and a lot of tough. Like you said, they are mounted. Everyone's workable tool is like on double time when they get here.
They are.
And
they are. You really have to be mounted to do any good down there.
And I don't know if you know this, Craig, and people listening. You know, every ranch rodeo that these guys go to, or heck, anybody, the pins are actually so different. So you take a pin that's like at Colorado Springs, I mean like an arena. Mm-hmm. It's pretty big, don't you think, Kenny?
Yeah.
It's a pretty big spread out deal. You go to another one, it might be like that time we were in Ogallala when we flooded out. That pin was huge.
That's a small pasture.
Yeah, very much so. And then you come here and we have to squeeze everything together. And it becomes very fast.
Yeah.
And you run out of pin pretty quick when you're wanting a little bit more, one more loop to swing, one more little step. So we can't wait to see you, Kenny. And I want to thank you for being there and thank you for helping me out this morning in WRCA.
Well, thank you. And I'd like to just thank the WRCA and all the staff and the foundation. They do a great job. It takes a lot of people to put everything together to have an organization like this.
Well, thanks, Kenny. Now you know why we're so crazy.
Yeah.
We'll see you down the road.
Well, there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes that people don't realize that you guys do, and I just wanted to thank you guys for that.
Well, Kenny, I owe you one. Tell the family hi. Congratulations.
Okay.
And we'll talk to you soon, bud.
Thanks,
all right, thanks.
And we'll see him and his whole bunch in November on the 8th through the 11th, right? Do I have that right? 8th through the 11th, yeah.
Yes, sir.
I think I have it memorized now. Peyton, you took the trip up to WRCA, right? No, Meade.
I went to
camp.
Waurika last
was
weekend.
the week. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
We even have Craig all discombobulated this
I'm looking at my list going, oh, I got the wrong check mark there
Yeah.
off the wrong. How was it?
It was good. You know, it was hot. They were very blessed with some rain the day before I got there, so the
bit
arena was a
humid,
little muddy
muggy,
at one end, and we had to plow it up. But thankfully, it was hot enough to dry it out pretty
Right.
quick. So
Yeah, like a microwave in there.
yeah,
Jeez.
yeah. I think the highest it got to was 110, and yeah, we were all melting and.
Yeah, she was asking me off the air. We drove up to Oklahoma City. She goes, I bet that was hot. And I'm like, well, stayed in the car on the way up there. Didn't get out of the car very long. Got into a hotel with the air conditioning.
Yeah,
Went
he
to the
acted like
arena
he
with
was
the air-
working all weekend or something.
I
and
go,
then-
So what were the days like when people were bootlegging and they had no air conditioning?
Oh no, there's a great book about the first Potter County sheriff who started off as a cowboy and got basically just asked if he wanted
Deputized.
to be Sheriff Goebel, I think was his name. Anyway, when you read that book, I just like, man, I read that book coming away and I was like, I'm the biggest wimp ever.
Oh, it
I'm
makes you
such a wimp.
Right, because when the air conditioner
Yep.
goes out, you
No,
think your
this
whole
air
world.
conditioning's out in here, and
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah. I
this
mean,
is
the way that we're
ridiculous.
sweating in
yeah,
here.
I'm calling the mayor.
I'm loosening my girths and my back
So-
cinches.
But so Meade has actually a pretty good historical landmark there.
Oh yeah,
It's the Dalton Gang hideout.
really?
And so they were actually bank robbers in that area.
Did you go do some tour guide stuff? Did
You
do-
actually make it a stop with there,
Yeah.
every time we go and kind of visit with everybody.
Yeah.
And then, so it was good. And we got to talking about the AC aspect of things.
Yeah.
As you go in there and, well, we were walking out and the AC unit kicked onto the main house
Yeah.
that they dug into
Yeah.
this tunnel, and
Yeah.
we were like, I bet they didn't have that AC
Oh,
when
my-
they were here. So
No, we're big old wimps now.
I am the biggest wimp there is.
I'm telling you, I'm right there with you. I'm looking forward to November already.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, Peyton, tell us a little bit about Meade. There was not a tornado,
yeah.
and
There
there
you go.
was not a flood. So
2 for 2
No,
so
I
far.
mean
Been
everything was good. We 2-day rodeo, so it's a whole lot different than encampment, like we said before. Where they can run and gun and
Yeah.
they're going for it.
Yeah.
The main goal is to stay consistent in these things, and 8 over quarter circle / Stinson Ranch actually took the win on that, and the benefit to 2-day rodeos and to the rules that Dale and the board put on is if you have a time in every event, then you get 10 extra bonus points per day. So that can really, make or break you.
Yeah, yeah.
So consistency is key.
Right.
And that's kind of what Josh Breeding and 8 over quarter circle and Stinson did, is they placed, had a time, and then they even placed decent,
Yeah.
top 3, top 4
Right.
in that range.
It's
and
not
they-
all about getting a bunch of number ones. It's
Right.
just staying up there in the top. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, it was a great rodeo, great stock. Dale Shell, you have to give kudos to him. He kicks off Fair Week there, so
Oh, cool.
it's kind of the thing to do. And he has everything really grounded, and it's an easy rodeo for us, and just great hands.
how many teams do you have up in there?
We had, I think, 15.
Wow, that's a bigger. That's,
Yeah, he was supposed to have 16, and an injury and a baby happened to show up, so you can't really control that. But
Both of those can happen.
both of those can happen when you have them happen at the same time
Yeah,
to the same
yeah.
person. But you think to yourself, yeah, I guess these guys, they better stay home since their wife just had the new baby.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm
Or
like,
stay home and help out a little bit.
yeah,
Yep.
you gotta do what you gotta
Keep
do.
you out of the doghouse for the next, 50 years. So did this one have a top hand and top horse?
it sure did. The top hand was Corey Beeler, and he's actually from a new ranch that just kind of signed on with us this year. So it's cool to see those guys step up and get recognized. And he comes from the Haw Ranch, and they're Kansas.
The Haw Ranch, H-A-W.
And the jokes are flying in the announcer stand. And if anybody listening knows Barry, you know it.
That's great.
It goes. It was
some of those
Haw
would be neat
flying.
to have the history of some of those names. See where they can. They're probably way older than. We're all thinking. First thing that comes to my mind is Hee Haw, and I'm sure they're older than the TV show Hee Haw. So I mean, it's got to go almost like an Indian name or something. Yeah. Or somebody came out there and they went, "Do you want to settle here? I already bought it." Huh.
Yeah.
Like, did you not see Florida?
But yeah,
exactly.
that was good. And then a ranch that's been with us for a while gets recognized with Top Horse, Grey G Bar, and that went to Kevin Lawson. And the horse that he was on was Smart Docs was the name of that horse. So
Smart Docs.
Yep, and he actually owns it, and so he was pretty excited, and he was very honored to receive that award. And he basically said, he's never received anything like that, and it was very humbling for him. And so kudos to him and his horse. And that horse didn't miss a beat during the rodeo. It was just killed it in the sorting, and he's like he said, I didn't even have to do much.
That's
It was all the horse. So
and they make it obvious which one should win.
Well, it's a workable tool.
Yeah.
And so you're half of the equation.
Yeah.
You're the pilot to the brains, basically.
Exactly.
So it's up to you to make stuff happen. So Grey G Bar ended up second.
Mm-hmm.
Third went to our boys, the Beechner Brothers. And then fourth went to Lonesome Pine.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Some of those Lonesome Pine
have already
qualified. And he said something about, I think, showing up at a couple more.
Yep.
I guess, is that common for them to keep? I would think, otherwise that's got to be the best practice than sitting home on your own ranch and trying to do things. Better practice to go to an actual rodeo.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's just kind of like what Kenny had mentioned. They're going to practice. They're going to do what they feel they need to do to prepare.
Right.
But then they need that level of puckeredness.
Yeah.
They need that level of, hey, when you put time and money against something, they need that push, that adrenaline rush.
Yep, exactly.
So it helps them stay tuned up. And helps their horses stay tuned up, too.
That makes sense.
Because, a lot of these ranch rodeos are outside, but then we come in November where it could be 80 one day, snow in the next, and 10 below. And they're coming inside where the elevation of loudness is louder. There's a lot going on.
Yep. Lots of stuff to take focus away.
But eight over quarter circle are actually in the Stinson Ranch are first-time qualifiers.
Yes.
That's awesome.
So we got there is always some excitement with new blood.
Yeah,
and
that's cool.
That was part of the talk with them. They're like forever we've always been around the guys, and they've said the feeling of coming in that tunnel for championship, will give you goosebumps. And actually just being there, and they're like, we're so pumped because we get to feel that feeling. We get that adrenaline rush, and
neat.
You can talk to guys like Tripp and everybody, and as they ride down that tunnel, they still get the same feeling after they've been there for so long. So this is like the Super Bowl of Super Bowls for these guys. So.
Yeah. Which is, by the way, November 8th through the 11th. You should get your tickets now. You should get on WRCA.org and get your tickets. And don't go, we say it every week. Don't just Google WRCA National Final Rodeo.
Oh, gosh, no.
Go directly to the website.
Panhandletickets.com or directly to our website, WRCA.org.
Yeah, go to the website. Actually, the website's laid out really well, and there's links, and there's also links for your hotel stays.
Book your rooms. Those teams that just qualified, book your rooms, guys.
Yeah. Don't wait. There's not a lot of camping area right around here.
The Hooper camp is full.
The Hooper camp's already full. Peyton still has some openings.
Oh,
no.
yeah. One,
Might
maybe.
not see me.
Depending on how many family comes.
No, can't bring your horse, though.
Yeah. I don't think the Sonic behind my house would appreciate that very much.
The horses might like it, though.
Pre-stalling.
And don't forget, this Saturday is the Oliver Cowboy Celebration. It's their second one. They're doing a 3-in-1 open ranch rodeo and open ranch bronc riding. and the money raised for that will go to the foundation. Big thanks to Herman Oak Leather and Tri-State Ford, Texas Dodge, Dean Clark Feed Yard, and Emerald National Bank for their sponsoring, which makes it. We talked about this off the air last week as you guys were leaving. If you've got any kind of nonprofit project, it makes it nice when you can have some sponsors to make it so everybody that does enter, you can take that money and give it straight to the foundation instead of having to take this part out of that money and give it here because we owe them some money on this and owe them some money on that. And a lot of times the sponsors will take up all of that pressure and it's so nice. So it is
nice. And Sweet Brand and Bud Light and Power Pipe and Tank and Bradley 3 Ranch. I mean, I could go on and on of the people and sponsors that have been with us through the years. And Titan Fuel Tank and Wrangler and Resist All. So thank you to everybody for doing all that you do to make a difference.
By the way, that is also it's like National Day of the Cowboy, I want to say, and so they're starting off. The rodeo doesn't start till 6 p.m., but they're having some festivities, some things to do for the whole family at AQHA at the headquarters that morning. I know they were asking us to talk a little bit about that also. So they got the National Day of the Cowboy going on at the American Quarter Horse Foundation in town, and then the 3-in-1 that night. So you really can make a whole day out of the National Day of the Cowboy.
Yeah, you'll leave wanting to just buy your own set of cattle, dip some Copenhagen,
I'll stick
take
by,
a nip of whiskey.
Stick to going by Robinson's and buying a hat.
Oh, but everyone wants to be a cowboy.
That's going on this week. If you got questions about that, you can call 806-372-7562. That's the number right there to Oliver Saddle Shop here in Amarillo. It's going to be a good time. So yeah, it should be a blast. I'm gonna make it out for that for a little bit. And
good deal. You filled that spot in the brown riding.
Yeah, that's probably right. Not what happened.
I think it did. I'll have to tell Mrs. Vaughn that when I see her. Yeah. I'll make him wear a mouthpiece and cup.
Can I claim shoulder injury like Lehman?
Absolutely, please do. That is pretty darn funny.
Lehman couldn't wait till Wednesday
not having a mutton busting.
Surgery. That might be more my speed.
Oh, you guys come out and come with us, and Oliver's family is putting on a really good deal.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
And it's for a really good cause. Yep. So come and see us Saturday.
Saturday at the Range Riders.
That's right.
Outdoor arena down at Washington in the Loop. If you're in town, if you're coming in from out of town, and if you are out of town, get your tickets, WRCA.org, and get your lodging and all that set away and get ready for November. Appreciate you guys. We'll talk to you next week. Who do we have next? What do we got?
It's open.
This is the open week, so we'll have somebody on probably talking just about foundation.
Probably so.
Excellent. I like those two.
You bet.